Y'all excited for the march? Yes, that's what I love to hear. And you know what else I love to see is so many people out here today. This is such an exciting crowd, and it's making all the 1,100 miles that I pedaled worth it 100%. I got here last week and am lucky enough to stay with the Franciscan friars down in the Lower East Side, and I got here and you have to ask Brother Ben, who's up here in the front. He saw me and he was like, "What happened to you?" Because it was just a hot mess this past 3 weeks. It took me almost 3 weeks to get here, and when I left Chicago it was 110 degrees. Wow. And then the next day was even hotter. And as I biked through a lot of the heartland, which has been, we know, left a very devastating trail. This industry that we actually use and support and have been doing our whole lives has actually left a devastating trail through the entire Midwest. There's so many towns that I passed through that have just been, wiped out through Pennsylvania and whatnot from the legacy of pollution and industry. But we're here to say no more to that. We're here today. All of y'all are here today. Why? Because you're going to say we have a better future in mind. We have a better future in plan, and we're all working, we're all walking, we're all marching for it today. So I want to say thanks to each of you. I was thinking of you as I biked. I said I could not do this on my own. And I know each one of you cannot do this on your own. Is that right? We cannot do this on our own. We're not expected to do this on our own. Pope Francis never says this is on you or you. This is not on Father Ben or Rosa or Nancy or myself or Kayla. This is on all of us together. Is that right? Yes. We are not a single individual. Pope Francis says each one of us is called to do our part. So what I want to say, and I know I'm running out of time, you don't have to bike 1,100 miles. It would be nice if you did. Ask me for some tips about what to do and what not to do. But you don't have to do that. You can do what's in your heart. You can do what's in your mind. You can do what's here. If it's something like compost and you know it's right, do it. But don't give up. Do it. Don't wait. Don't sit around. Don't let people tell you no. Do it if it's in your heart. That's what I want to leave you with, and I also want to leave you with the next person. I believe that would be you again.
We're going to turn this over to Kayla. Where is Kayla?
Hi.
Here she is! Wow. So Kayla is a staff person from the Climate Covenant in Washington, D.C. and has organized this section of the rally as a press conference for young people so that we hear their voices. Because they are the next generation and they are going to have to live with the earth that they inherit. Here you are, Kayla.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. My name is Kayla Jacobs, Program Manager for Youth Mobilization for the Catholic Climate.
You have to speak directly into your mouth right on.
Is this good? Yeah. Okay. All right, my name is Kayla Jacobs, Program Manager for the Youth Mobilization for the Catholic Climate Covenant. After working side by side with hundreds of youth in faith and climate space for several years, I have received a lot of hope from them. Many of the students we work with have a deep passion for climate justice and a desire to take action inspired by their faith. And now we will be able to hear from some of those leaders right now. So thank you all for being here. And yeah, stoked to march with you all.
A few years ago, I sat at my desk in my dorm room late at night, and I watched videos of young people face down attack dogs, tear gas, less lethal bullets, and fire hoses in the brutal cold of South Dakota winter. I reloaded the page on my laptop, looking for more videos and photos, scanning the comments, looking for signs of outrage, signs of the collective will to end the injustice. As young Indigenous leaders led the fight for clean water, for sovereignty, for a safe and livable planet, to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline, to end fossil fuels, and to see the brutality and the violence of the fossil fuel industry that they face was a wake-up call for me. The fossil fuel industry will not go quietly into the night. And I asked myself that day, what am I willing to do for all the people and places that I love? And I promised myself that I would be the kind of person who joins others in acting. Each of us here has felt or seen that violence. Perhaps you choked on smoke this summer from the fossil fuel fires in Canada, or you pumped water out of your basement and threw out damaged belongings from the flooding, or you sweltered through unrelenting 100+ degree heat as heat waves traverse the country. But each of us chose to be here today, chose to act, and chose to believe in our power to win the world that we deserve. And we are here as Catholics who know that we must end fossil fuels. For as Pope Francis said 8 years ago in Laudato Si, fossil fuels need to be replaced without delay. And we are marching today to call on President Joe Biden to join us fully in this fight. Joe Biden, our brother in the Catholic faith, if he wants Catholics and young people to enthusiastically turn out in droves to the ballot box to help him keep his job next fall, he must use the full powers of the executive branch to end fossil fuels and invest in Green New Deal solutions. The climate crisis doesn't grade on a curve. And if Joe Biden if Joe Biden joins us, declares a climate emergency, ends fossil fuel leases and exports, and manages the rapid end of fossil fuels, beginning the just, equitable, renewable, thriving, and dignity-affirming economy and society that we need, he may well go down in history as one of the most loving and courageous political leaders and Catholics of our time. So join me in saying, end fossil fuels! End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels!
I'm a parishioner at Blessed Sacrament, but I'm also a college student. Hi, can you hear me now? Hi, my name is Natalie Gargiulo. I am a parishioner at Blessed Sacrament, and I am also a college student. I identify as someone who inhabits planet Earth. I also identify as someone who cares about it. As a person that lives during a time where society is concerned about how I identify, I say, let's talk about the problem. Let's identify the issue that is climate change. Can we, as a unified human race, take heed in the warnings that are right in front of us? Let's start the change. Even though we might not live to see the change, doesn't mean we didn't make a difference. So let's stand together and show the people that we want to stop fossil fuels. Thank you.
Whoa. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah? Kind of. Okay. I'm a current senior at Loyola School. I've lived in Hunts Point all my life in the South Bronx. As the years have gone by, it's been easy to catch on to the countless injustices my community faces. Being the most neglected in New York, I've grown up witnessing poverty, hunger, violence, and above all, pollution within the same block of where my home's located. Asthma rates have significantly increased that surround us, especially due to all the industrial factories. Though it continues to occur, the beauty and realness of an unbreakable community empowers me. I have been given the gift of witnessing beauty and pain existing interconnectedly, in harmony. It's driven me to feel motivated to put my countless thoughts and worries into action. During my time at Loyola, my faith has blossomed in countless manners, being consistently strengthened with each one. I have been given the opportunity to lead clubs and school-wide activities to encourage others to care for the common home, gifted by God. I am a leader of Loyola's Green Team, a club dedicated to improving sustainability within the school. In May, we implemented a new recycling system, replacing small trash cans in classrooms with larger ones in the halls. We have seen that about 90% of what is being thrown away has been put in the correct bins. This is significant, considering almost 0% was being thrown correctly in the first place. We have also helped with saving energy when it came to conditioning, the air conditioning and lights being on in the classrooms after school, ultimately saving Loyola thousands of dollars. We plan to continue educating and implement some changes in our school. Beyond the Loyola community, as a Catholic, I, along with the rest of us, am compelled to care for the earth in every setting that I am in. We are to seek justice for the marginalized. Above all, we are to honor our Creator by fulfilling our moral responsibilities, by maintaining a sustainable environment all can call home.
Hello everybody, my name is Patty. I'm a current junior at the University of Scranton. I'm a current, can you hear me now? No. Okay.
Put it up close. Put it up close.
Okay. Hello everybody. My name is Davida Patty. I'm a current junior at the University of Scranton. And I can recall the first time I went to my course called Living Magnificently. It was my first year seminar, and the professor kind of put the idea of cura personalis on it. And this Jesuit value was the idea of thinking beyond just ourselves and actually the impact that we can have on our world. And so me, as a first generation Ghanaian American, what I think of when I think of that is my family abroad. My family lives in an ideal world where they don't actually know what's going to happen tomorrow because of the current climate. Their food sources are undecided, and a lot of their own resources are limited, and some of them don't even have a home. And so I think of the idea of cura personalis actually reaching out to our environment and what we can do for our environment. And so as we are of faith, I believe that we should also put the idea of cura personalis on the environment and really have an impact for our own common home. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
My name is Zoe George, and I'm a senior at Dominican Academy. I consider this an honor and a responsibility to stand before you, not just as a senior in high school, but as a concerned citizen who believes that climate change has become one of the most defining challenges of our time. I believe it is our collective responsibility, especially as young people, to engage in conversations and bring awareness about the environmental issues that affect not only our generation, but generations to come. While climate change is a complex issue, what is not complex is its impact on vulnerable communities. The poor are often the hardest hit by climate-related disasters, including the risk of extreme weather patterns, food scarcity, and health issues. These communities often lack the resources and infrastructure to protect themselves. Therefore, climate change is not just an environmental challenge, but a humanitarian crisis. Pope Francis has been a strong advocate for addressing climate change. In his 2015 encyclical Laudato Si, on care for our common hope, Pope Francis presents a powerful response to the environmental crisis. Pope Francis introduces the concept of integral ecology that highlights the interconnectedness of all life on Earth, providing a holistic view that recognizes the close relationship between our well-being and the well-being of our planet. The environment is not separate from us, but part of us. Therefore, we have an ethical imperative to address climate change and environmental degradation. Pope Francis called for an ecological conversion that provides a shift in our collective consciousness. It is a call to reconsider our relationship with the natural world and to make intentional steps to be good stewards of the earth. We as young people are not just future leaders. We are leaders now. Together, we have the potential to create a better world for our current and future generations. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Bayada, a current senior at Regis High School, and as I think you can all tell, a Boy Scout. 3 months ago, we walked outside to see a cloud of orange. Smoke from the Canadian wildfires billowed into our city, placing New York #1 worldwide among cities with the worst air quality. These fires were bred by the hot, dry, and gusty conditions brought about by climate change. And as we blanket the planet with even more of these heat-trapping gases, the chances of these fires blazing become ever higher. While these recent wildfires kept us New Yorkers inside for a couple days, climate tragedies in the global south forced people out of their homes, displacing millions and forcing the most vulnerable to suffer. Indeed, global warming claims some 400,000 lives each year, while only 2% of these deaths occur in the wealthy north of the globe. This disconnect leaves countries that pollute the most with the least incentive to create change. They can take the risk because someone else bears the cost. Developing countries disproportionately face more severe heat waves, more severe floods, and more severe droughts. Look to Pakistan. While their climate emissions are less than 1% of the world's total, it's ranked among the top 10 most vulnerable countries to climate change. In Pakistan's flooding, more than 33 million people were impacted and an estimated 8 million were displaced. Innocent people are being hit the hardest. Our call to act against this crisis comes on two fronts. All Catholics have a duty to defend human life. St. Pope John Paul II proclaims that the right to life is essential to further the common good. It's the most basic human right. Without it, we have no potential for physical or spiritual flourishing. Secondly, all humans are called to care for our common home. Pope Francis tells us, quote, "The environment is a common good, belonging to all and meant for all. As the youth, this world will soon be ours to live in. We must spearhead the movement to defend our planet." Pope Paul VI explains that freedom acquires new strength only when people commit themselves to the service of the human community. But when faced with such a global issue, how can we make change? Write to your policymakers and urge them to implement pro-climate action. Sweeping legislation is the most effective way to create change on a large scale. Most importantly, encourage others. We're all here. Now take these lessons outside of the church and educate those around you. Build structures to tangibly make a difference. A school eco-committee, an ESG board in your foundation. Catholic means universal, and being on earth is a universal experience. It's our job to take action. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. That was really wonderful to hear the voices of the young people. It is the world that we're making now is the world that they will inherit. So let's do what we can to make that a very wonderful world to live in. I just want to give a few thanks to people who helped promote this, Catholic Contingent and the Climate March in general, Franciscan Action Network, Christi, the Sisters of Mercy, the Sisters of Charity, the Lit Out to Sea movement, the Metro New York Catholic Climate Movement, and the Catholic Climate Covenant that organized this conference part of it. And I also want to give a special thanks to Terry Mashad from Blessed Sacrament, who had the vision to create these visuals, which to us represent a living planet, as opposed to a fossil fuel planet. So thank you, Terry. And thank you, everybody who helped carry them down or bring them down in some way and help make them as well. All right, I want to also thank Tom Dobbins, who's here with us from the Archdiocese, Catholic Charities. And again, I want to thank St. Paul's for hosting us. So just a couple of things. I have the prayer for our earth here on these prayer cards. We're not going to pray them here, okay? But we will pray them over at the main march. So it would be nice for you to have them. And would anybody like to help distribute them? Yes, thank you, Natalie. So just carry them with you. And I'll ask Brother Ben, if you would like to say just the final blessing. And I also want to tell you where we are going. Okay, it's really important that you know where we are going. We're going to go down to 55th Street, and then we're going to turn left and go over to Broadway. And we will be, the Faith Hub is between 55th and 54th. The labor contingent will be in front of us at 54th, and we will be on the 55th side. So that's why we're going to walk over on 55th Street, okay? We've been cautioned to not walk down Broadway. It'll be congested. All right, so, Brother Ben, final blessing.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Laudato si, omne Signore, laudato si. We're gonna sing that way as we go, right? And we are in the season of creation, so the theme is to go like a river, right? And we march together in justice and peace while singing Laudato si. So may Almighty God bless us as we march in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Laudato si, omne Signore, laudato si.
Thank you, Brother Ben. So just one last thing. If the people who are agreeing to carry the visuals, we would like to keep them all together, okay, during the march, because that makes them more visible, makes them more photogenic, if you will. And, you know, that's the point, is to have our message of a livable planet get out there beyond just this day and this march. It would get out with photo ops, you know, that get spread through social media and the press. So, thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Catholic Covenant. Thank you, the Laudato Si movement. And let's march. Let's march.